Hey guys, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk. So, we're going to do an episode of You Need These Records. And in this case, it's You Need This Box Set. So, this is the Vinyl Me Please, the story of Zamrock 8 album box set. The second pressing of it since I missed it the first time around. This is the first time I've ever bought a box set from Vinyl Me Please. Um, and so I skipped the unboxing part of the video. Yes, it came in a cardboard box. I opened the cardboard box. This was shrink wrapped. I took off the shrink wrap. This slides out. So you've got the booklet and you have the 8 albums. And even though I have collected some Zamrock, actually only one of the 8 albums in the box set is a repeat. So kind of a blank cover, which kind of doesn't make any sense. But we got Zamrock, and of course we've got archival pictures. We've got a write-up. I'll be honest, I haven't read it all. Talking about the various albums in this box set. I've only had a chance to listen to albums once or twice each, but let's talk about them. So, the first one we will talk about is from, this should be from 1973. So, this is the Witch introduction. So, Witch, we intend to cause havoc. It's an acronym. Is one of the most well known of the bands. There they are on the back. This guy, Emmanuel Jaggery Chanda, the nickname was kind of a take on Mick Jagger. He's the only one of these guys who survived the big AIDS epidemic that hit Zambia in the 80s and 90s. My understanding is that him and both some surviving Zambian musicians and some outside musicians have put out as well. And so we've got introduction, kind of one of the original. There's Musi Otonya, which isn't in this box set, which I think a lot of times is considered to be the first Zamrock, but this was pretty early on side as well. You got Feeling High, See Your Mama. A few of these songs are on the Zamrock compilations, and so I'll be honest, I'm not as big of a fan of Witch as some of the other groups. In fact, some of the other ones that we'll be talking about in just a moment. And I know the Witch do have several other albums as well. A lot of these bands might have been like one album wonders. I know some of the people in the compilations might have only had singles and may not even have had an album. So here's a one album wonder, but this is one of my favorites. In fact, I did a video on this album in the past because this is the one in the box set that is a repeat of something I already known. So this is the band is Amanaz, and the album is called Africa. This was released in 1975. I've described them before as sort of like it's sort of like Peter Tosh fronting early Black Sabbath. So of course, Zamrock, you've got elements of garage, you've got elements of psych, you've got elements of early hard rock, you've got elements of funk and soul, elements of native music all going on. A lot of the songs are in English, but not all of the songs are in English. The song History of Man is probably my favorite Zamrock song. Making the Scene on side 2 is also another great song. Keith Cobway is your vocalist. I think they kind of alternate, and so let's see what this label looks like. Okay, so sort of a reproduction. Obviously, original pressings of these albums are extremely hard to come by. They're usually in terrible shape if you can find them, and very expensive. Then another one of my favorite bands that I've talked about before is Ngozi Family. So this is a different album, 45,000 Volts from 1977. I had their earlier album, Day of Judgment, from 75 or 76. So you got Paul and Ngozi. You've got, what's the bass player's name? Tommy Mawala. Chris Zebi Tembo on drums. There's a Chris Tebi Zembo solo album. I think it's basically the same guys playing. It's just that this time he's singing and is the songwriter as opposed to Paul. And so, Ngozi Family might be probably I would rank them as my favorite Zamrock band of the moment. Ricky Banda from 1976. Niwanji Wawa Awishyo. So all instrumentation by Ricky. So basically everything except the drums is being played by him. He wrote all the songs. I remember the song "Who's That Guy" was on the Zamrock compilation that I downloaded. It's just a wonderful song, and this is pretty psyche soundy sort of stuff. Another fun find was this band Crossbones with Wiseman from 1976. And so there they are. You've got 6 people, including the woman, Violet Kafola, probably the most prominent woman involved with the Zamrock movement. So she sings and writes some of the songs. And Rain and Sunshine, really, Mwemba, Lume Bandi, like them. Next one is probably, honestly, my least favorite one of the box set. So the band is called Fireballs. The album is called Dots. This is from 1978. And so, I mean, it's not terrible, but it hasn't grabbed me the way that a lot of these other bands, particularly Amanaz and Ngozi Family, have. 5 Revolutions, though. And so, their album I'm a Free Man from 1976. I probably like it a little bit more than the Fireballs, but what would probably be a big revelation for me, it was the last one from the box, the last one I listened to, the Oscillations. I Can See It Coming from 1978. So Victor Kunda Kasoma is the lead guitarist. A little bit of research showed that he'd been a polio victim and had been paralyzed, so he couldn't use his legs. He kind of looks like he's kind of laying the guitar because of some of his disabilities, but he still plays wacky, fuzzed out, long guitar solos. Request of God, the very first song on the album, basically starts with like a 4-minute long guitar solo. Take that, Uli John Roth. You thought Sales of Sharon was great, starting with the guitar solo. You didn't go on as long as this guy did. And Christopher Juggy Tembo is listed as the drummer. I think that's the same guy from Ngozi Family with a different nickname, unless there are 2 Chris Tembos that are drummers in Zamrock floating around. But I think there was a lot of people going back and forth between different bands in this movement. So obviously I'm a big Zamrock fan, and I'm going to be a big proponent if you're into this sort of music at all. If you're a member of Vinyl Me Please, you get your discount on getting the box sets. I know that once these box sets get sold out, the Discogs guys will make these pretty expensive. I think most, if not all, of these albums are also available separately, so obviously you can pick and choose as well. That might make more sense for a lot of you. If you're not a member and don't want to join Vinyl Me Please, then you could just pick off a couple of albums. And then especially with people like The Witch and Ngozi Family, who've had several albums, that you could delve deeper into their discography. Some of these are, of course, these one album wonders like Amanaz. I think the Oscillations were also a one album wonder. So there you go. Get some Zamrock. Watch Steve Carlson if you're not convinced by me.